Welcome to the 7 News Review, your quick recap of the top local and state stories this week from Southwest Oklahoma and beyond. I'm Dave Hunter, and here's what you need to know. Our top story this week is a heartbreaker out of Elgin because a mother is remembering her daughter, and the Elgin community is mourning the loss of a beloved teacher who died last week. Family, friends, and community members gathered at the Elgin Performing Arts Center to pay respects to the late Holly Hill on a rainy Tuesday morning. Here's that full story.
The Elgin community is mourning the death of an elementary school teacher. Holly Hill, a beloved teacher at Elgin Public Schools and an alumnus of the school, died last week. Family and friends have taken to social media to mourn her death. I spoke with Holly's mother, Kelly Hunter, and she shares Holly's story and about what happened the day her life changed forever, 2.5 years ago. Allegations that were highlighted in a civil suit.
She was served a drink that instead of having margarita mix in it was made with industrial degreaser that contained lye, and that lye damaged her esophagus to the point that my daughter's been fighting for her life for 2.5 years.
Holly's mother said they spent a week in the hospital, but it took more than 12 weeks to keep her esophagus open.
I really worried when my baby girl woke up and I had to tell her she couldn't eat or drink anything for 30 days. She'd be upset, but instead she smiled at me and said, I can do that.
Not only was Holly a teacher, but she drove school buses too. After time in the hospital, Holly decided to live her routine life.
As usual, she got up and went back to work because her kids needed her.
Hunter told me while Holly was at work, she began to feel unwell and spiked a fever. She decided to finish her day at home in bed and go to the hospital in the morning until her mother received a call.
And about 1:18, she called me and she was gasping for breath and telling me that she couldn't breathe and she needed help.
Hunter said she rushed to help her daughter.
She told me, I'm dying, Mom, but I need you to know that I love y'all. And I said, you're not going to die, baby girl. You're too strong for that.
Holly's husband continued to speak to dispatch operators when she lost her pulse. That's when Kelly stepped in and started CPR.
I really don't know how long I did CPR. It seemed like forever.
First responders arrived on scene, and Holly's mom thought everything was okay.
It really felt like I did it, you know. I thought they were there. She had a pulse. We were going to be okay.
Then Holly lost her pulse again when first responders tried to move her.
I had to sit there and watch my baby die right in front of me. And the fact that I'm heartbroken and that it's not even scratching the surface.
Holly's mom also shared why it took so long for them to speak out about Holly's story. According to Kelly, it's because they couldn't.
I know a lot of people are asking why. Why wasn't something said before? The whole time this was under litigation, we were told to shut our mouths and that we were not allowed to put anything on social media. That's why. And I really would like people to know that. It's not that we didn't care until she was dead. It was that we were literally told to shut our mouths.
Kelly says she wants someone to be held accountable.
But what I would like is criminal charges filed and someone held accountable for my daughter's death.
Kelly is now remembering what kind of person her daughter was.
She was loud and happy, and she had beautiful dimples and always had a smile on her face, and she had beautiful blue eyes. And she was energetic and caring. She loved babies and kids, and she was honestly my best friend.
Also taking place this week, the Oklahoma Department of Corrections confirms a stabbing took place at the Red Rock Correctional Center on Monday evening. First responders were called to the prison around 8:30 p.m. on a report of an inmate suffering multiple stab wounds. A spokesperson with ODOC confirmed the incident and said one of the inmates required further treatment and was transported to a local hospital. The incident is still under investigation by the ODOC Office of the Inspector General. Another call came in around midnight Tuesday for an inmate with a laceration to the head. In response, ODOC said the incident was separate. The inmate was found unresponsive and taken to a local hospital for treatment. No foul play is suspected in this incident. And finally, this week, the Lawton community continued to step up. The Lawton Food Bank sees record demand. Alex Minter McCann, executive director of the Lawton Food Bank, said they typically serve 250 to 300 people every day, but now they're serving somewhere between 400 and 500 people a day. This week, the Greater Lawton Rotary Club and Bank First gave a donation to the food bank and got a tour of the facility to see how everything works. McCann wants people to know there are organizations and businesses who are stepping up to help make sure the Lawton Food Bank is able to help people and families. Now here are some of the top stories making headlines across Oklahoma this week. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt hosted a press conference October 28th geared toward a new hospital transparency law. Governor Stitt signed Senate Bill 889 in May. The bill will now require hospitals to publish easy-to-understand prices for around 300 common services. The author of the bill states this piece of legislation puts Oklahoma at the forefront nationally, and Governor Stitt said it's simply common sense. Also happening this week at the Capitol, members of the Oklahoma Legislative Black Caucus are demanding action to prevent the loss of SNAP benefits. The caucus issued a call to Governor Kevin Stitt to convene a special session to protect SNAP recipients. They say ensuring food access is a nonpartisan issue, and they urge state leaders to take action immediately. And finally, while the Oklahoma Legislative Black Caucus is demanding action to prevent the loss of SNAP benefits, Governor Stitt is urging Oklahomans to assist each other during this time of suspended SNAP benefits. Stitt said the state can't use any of the $3.5 billion in the savings account to temporarily fund SNAP. He says that the issue is complicated to cover the cost of over $100 million every month that it costs to fund the program. SNAP benefits funding is set to run out November 1st, and about 700,000 Oklahomans will be impacted. And before we wrap up, here are a few community quick hits. First, this week, the Museum of the Great Plains honored the countless men and women who act during emergencies. The museum celebrated First Responders Day with a community event. Police, firefighters, paramedics, and more were at the museum that day to meet with the people they serve every single day. Attendees also got to see police vehicles and fire trucks up close as part of the event. Second, MacArthur High School students gathered this week at the school's library to hold its annual Lights on Literacy event. The event was organized to help students identify their favorite children's book and share it with others. There were other literacy activities, and Councilman George Gill and LPS school member Elizabeth Fabrega also shared their favorite books. And lastly, Forever Gail, a woman who was homeless just a few months ago, aims to soon be standing on the stage in front of American Idol judges. Her goal is to go from homeless to stardom. Gail works in a Mite preschool classroom as an assistant. Her 2 children are part of the program elsewhere in the building. Her heart beats for them, but also for the goal of getting a golden ticket. Well, that's this week's 7 News Review. I'm Dave Hunter, and for more on these stories and the latest breaking news, head over to kswo.com and download the 7 News app. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week with another 7 News Review.